Well, I've got something I want to talk about with Caleb for a while now. Can
All
we
right,
talk
what?
about Kyrie Irving?
Oh my God. Go ahead. Bring it up. What do you want to say?
What are your thoughts on what Kyrie's done this past few weeks? I just want to know.
I love him. I think he's an inspirational player, and I feel like he's making the right decision. Dude, listen, the media hates him for some odd reason. They've decided. I think I know why ESPN hates him. It's because he, talked bad about LeBron. He didn't want to be in LeBron's shadow, and he left. So I feel like late ESPN said, well, we hate him now. We're going to make him out to look like this evil guy. And I honestly feel like I don't blame Kyrie for saying I don't want to talk to media just that way they can make me look like a bad guy every single time I say something. Because they do change his words and twist his words a lot.
My only argument with that is I agree. Kyrie's taken some beatings from the media. He's had a hard time with a lot of stuff he said, but can we keep in mind that a lot of the stuff he says is what's being reported? Like, it's what he said is being said out there. The thing that pissed me off with Kyrie is he says they were misconstruing my word. Bro, they're saying the same thing that you said in a quote on the freaking TV screen or on Twitter. The only people that are misconstruing it are the people that are looking at that quote and over analyzing it. Yes, there are always
Okay.
people that are going to be doing that. But that
I'll,
doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with your quote.
I'll agree with that. But at that same time, if he doesn't want to do it after everything he's been through with the media, I don't really blame him. Because here's the thing, he could take the high road now and say, I don't really want to talk to media this year. I don't plan on it. Or he could do the same thing that Marshawn Lynch did, where he just kept saying, I'm only here so I don't get fined. So now listen,
Exactly.
so that happens. What
So
do you
why not
think?
do that? If Marshawn
What do
can
you
step
think the
up,
media is going to hate more? Do you think the media is going to be like, oh, okay, he talked to us at least. He said he was only here so he won't get fined. Or do you think they'd be more appreciative that he was just straight up honest with them and said, I don't want to talk to media this year. Don't plan on it.
well, to me, I don't care because a lot of the media are people like me and you. We're just people that talk. They're people that write. They're people that just make articles. They're not anyone that actually does anything. The ESPN guys, the Stephen A. Smiths, those are not media. Those are very few high-ranked people, right? And the Wojs and the Shams of the world, bro, we're going to find out in a few years, who knows when, about how they find out their information. Kyrie snitched the other day that Shams tried sneaking in to a Brooklyn Nets workout in LA this summer. Bro, that's his goddamn job. What do you expect him to do? That's how he freaking puts food on the table. That's how he makes money. Just like you make money playing hoops, that's how he makes money. And a lot of the fans love hearing what the players say after games. They love the bids. Bro, it's to me, I don't mean to be that guy because I'm a player's guy. I want them to get paid. I want them to do what they want. I think they should say whatever the hell they want. As much as it annoys me with Buddy, I love the fact that he just expresses himself as a player. As a Kings fan, I don't like it. But as somebody that loves players, I respect it. But Kyrie is just out here just completely denying everything. He's scared of everything. He's causing the biggest scene over something like, okay, you don't think there was times where Kobe didn't want to talk to media? You don't think there were times where Celtics legends like Kevin Garnett didn't want to talk to the media, like Brian Scalabrine didn't want to talk to the media? You think there were times like that? Yeah, of course there were, but they still did it. You still got to do it. It's part of your job, bro. To me, that's part of what you get paid millions of dollars for. And yes, I get it. You're getting paid for your talent, but people love what you say. Let's do a famous quote from Caleb's grandma. With great power comes great responsibility.
Never said this. My
So
grandma
when
never
you have
said this.
that power, you can't just say, okay, well, I don't want to be responsible. Nah, I don't really feel like talking to me. I don't feel like doing this. Then at what point are you crossing the line?
I feel like Kyrie is just one of those few athletes that just wants to play basketball. Like, he doesn't want to deal with anything else. And I don't blame him for that. But, like, here comes the thing. He's too talented to be that type of player. You know what I mean? Like, he wants the media to treat him like Matthew Dellavedova, right? Where they just don't talk to him for anything. But he's a top 5 point guard in the league.
Even that, with that though, he's also really smart. Kyrie is
He's a very
super.
smart guy. Very
People
smart guy.
make fun of him, but we like
thing,
hearing what he says. If you really listen to half the
yes,
stuff he says, he's super intelligent.
what he says to media, it does get put out there. But the way he talks, he's so smart and so intelligent. The way he words things, people take it the complete opposite way. And maybe that's on media for not really elaborating perfectly, but it's also on fans too for not understanding. Fans also are just as much to blame as media is, in my honest opinion, because they take stuff he says and then they start running with it. The whole flat earth thing, he said that as a joke. And like 2 weeks after he said that, he even said it was a joke. But for years, people just kept running with that. And it's like, come on, man. Like,
yeah, I agree with that. That was too extended to me.
yes.
And I get why. Even with Steph, perfect example. What Steph said, landing on the moon was fake. Steph said that. And then he went on Instagram Live with NASA, one of the top guys, and with an astronaut, and went to the NASA Space Center and did all this stuff, right? So to me, it's just about, again, how you portray it. Steph doesn't really care whether, bro, people shit on Aisha every day. Like, people
They do.
attack
Bad.
him.
I feel bad for that.
People attack him so much, and people attack his wife, and they talk about how insecure she is. Like, that's going to your family. You want to talk about personal? That's too far. But yeah, he's okay with it, and he lets it fly. Kyrie is like, bro, just stop getting in your. To me, he's too much in his feeling, like always in his feeling. I get it. It's okay to have a personality where you get offended sometimes, or you feel like people are misconstruing what you're saying a lot of the times. Just be careful with the media, then be particular. Boycotting just sets an example that it's like, well, if I don't get it my way, then I'm not doing it at all.
I agree that he would be better off giving short 1-word, 2-word answers and then hopping on it, because he has been going on Instagram Live. After the games, hop on Instagram Live, talk to fans. You know what I mean? Like, elaborate to them what you want to say about the games and stuff. But I agree that you can't completely shut it off, because what we talked about, I think it was a couple podcasts ago, if he shuts it off, what's to say that another player is like, well, if Kyrie can do it, I'm going to do it too. And then you create like a wave of everything, and it's.
Then you got a Fox News where you got one station that's saying every single thing that's only benefiting the players. There's no clickbait. Half of the fun is hearing, oh, this player said what about this player after a game? Like, yeah.
And then seeing them hop on Twitter and say, like, I didn't say that. It's part of the fun. It adds a new element to the game. So I think a lot of stuff missed in like the 80s, 90s. I feel like now with social media, interviews and everything, you can connect with players on a different level. I do agree, though, that, like, sometimes players, they get themselves in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, they say too much, like, in terms about another player.
And Kyrie hasn't had anything off the court. So I'm not here to criticize Kyrie as a person or anything. I love Kyrie's game. I want the Nets to win the championship this year. That's my team that I would love to see win it. I don't want to see the West win it again. I really like to see what Kevin Durant's going to do. I want to see Kyrie. I want to see them both, as annoying as their personalities are. I love their game, and I love
their games are so much fun, dude.
They're going to be so much fun to watch.
It's like I tell Celtics fans all the time on Twitter, I'm like, man, I really wish Kyrie could have worked out here. But he wanted to move on, and it's like the way Boston media treated him, specifically Boston media, because they still hate that guy. That I can't blame him for wanting out of Boston.
But can you blame Boston media for saying, dude, you said 6 months ago, I want to be here. I want to stay here for a long time. It's okay to change your mind, but don't get offended that you changed your mind. But Celtics fans are upset. I would be upset if I were a Celtics fan too.
To be fair, in that quote, he did say, I would like to be back if you guys would have me. Now, as the year went on, more and more speculation started that he might be leaving. And then that Bucks series happened where he shot, I think, like 4 for 18, 5 for 17, like bad percentages. Celtics fans were then on Twitter saying, just leave. We don't want you here anymore. So he did kind of say, if you guys want me back, I'll come back. And then Celtics fans were saying, just leave.
Kevin Durant, Kyrie, they both knew they were leaving all last year. Warrior fans, I'm friends with a ton of Warrior fans here in the Bay Area. They all were confused about what Kevin Durant's going to do. I was telling them, Durant's going to New York. Durant's going to the Knicks.
He's leaving. I thought he was going to Knicks, yeah.
Everything was lining up for him to go to the Knicks. Obviously, he didn't. He went to Brooklyn. But he was throwing fits, and he was acting up in a certain way that was just the same way Kyrie was doing. And that's okay. Anthony Davis did it. Anthony Davis gets credit. But it's just don't freaking freak out all the time.
Here's the thing. I think Kyrie and KD, I think what really put the nail in the coffin for them wanting out was it was a first-round playoff game, I think, or it might have been a game before the playoffs. But Kyrie, he had to get a nasal surgery. He had something wrong with his nasal cavity or something. He had to get a surgery. He scheduled it during the game. So he wasn't at the game. I think it was the first round of the playoffs, I want to say. And he scheduled it for the game because, honestly, it doesn't matter. He's not playing, so why not go get your surgery, you know? Like, sure, poor timing, but whatever. Celtics fans, media, everyone freaked out on him, right? Similar to Kevin Durant with his leg injury. Every Warriors fan was like, come back for the playoffs, come back for the playoffs. So he came back, got hurt. the way that I think the teams and media and everything handled the injuries those two went through and then kind of blame them for it somehow, I feel like that was like the nail in the coffin. They were both like, all right, I'm out.
But how much is that the media versus the front office and the organization? Because with Kevin Durant, and that's why I can't stand Bob Myers and his crocodile tears. He was sitting having crocodile tears.
Dude, that was bad. That was really bad.
That legitimately had me heated because I was like, dude, Kevin Durant's one of the best players in our generation, and we just got robbed of seeing a prime version of him ever again because you wanted to win a championship so desperately that you risked this guy tearing his Achilles and coming back. We all knew he could have torn his Achilles. I'm sorry. I don't care what.
Oh, everybody knew it was a possibility. And when he came back and went down, everybody knew, oh, that's an Achilles injury. You know what I mean? Like, there was nobody saying, what could it be? Because everyone knew what it was.
And Durant's mom said after, you guys will all find out one day about what really happened. So that tells me that Durant was pushed to come back. And same thing with Isaiah Thomas. That's what happened with the Celtics. Celtics ended up firing the whole training staff. Organizations get themselves in a lot of trouble, but they get away with a lot of it. And again, going back to my point, I hope Kyrie doesn't do it. To be honest with you, it won't happen. And here's why. Adam Silver fined the Nets $25,000 and Kyrie. Why? Because they probably told the Nets, hey, you need to tell your player to do this because we're going to fine you if you don't tell them too, because you are responsible. And the Nets probably said, we're not telling Kyrie he's our superstar to keep him happy. They probably just said, no, we're not telling him. You can fine us. So they fined them. And I'm sure Adam Silver's talking with them saying, hey, you guys need to get Kyrie out there. Otherwise, this is going to have all these other teams do this. And our owners are going to not like that at all. So we'll see what happens with that.